Hi, Minesh Baxi here, and I have Robert Helm from Mason, Oklahoma's area, came all the way, and I'm so glad that you came, and you have an interesting story. I'm looking forward to learning more about your experiences in entrepreneurship, your family, and so on and so forth. So thanks for being here.
Thank you kindly for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, here is the part, Robert. We all have a story to tell, don't we?
Yes, we do.
We have had enough challenges in life,
Yes.
and we have overcome enough things that if we actually looked at it from a different perspective, we would have something to share that people can benefit
Absolutely.
from.
Absolutely.
So I loved the fact that you homeschool, which is something I do as well.
Yes.
And you also have a wife from a different country. So in my case, I was the one who came from a different country.
Sure, yeah.
So tell me a little bit about you. Like, you started as an entrepreneur, and then we'll touch on the family part in a few minutes as well.
Okay.
So tell me a little bit about you.
Well, I come from a small town up in northern Michigan. A lot of people know it as Baldwin. Some people know it as Idlewild. They actually did a documentary on that. But very small community, around 2,000 people probably, at least at the time that I lived there. Not a whole lot of jobs, very few as a matter of fact, especially for the younger generation. Most of the jobs were taken by the adults. And so that was kind of my introduction to entrepreneurship because, you know, when you come from a small community and low means, you're always looking for, what can I do? What can I do? Well, at least if you're trying to be progressive anyway. And so I started my first business actually while I was a junior in high school. And it was called Robert Helm's Interior, Exterior Decorating and Cleaning Service. And that idea came about because I always cleaned my house. You know, my mom actually used to get mad because I would always be cleaning. And so
You are the ideal child.
Yeah.
Most parents have the opposite problem.
Exactly. Especially, you know, as a father now, I'm seeing that, like, I'm constantly chasing behind my kids. Like, I don't get it. How do you not, you know, this is natural for me. But anyway, so that was, you know, really the kind of my introduction into the entrepreneurial way of life, if you will. So
Interesting. Wow. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I love. You know, entrepreneurship, I think, is pretty much internal to everybody.
Yep.
If you are given enough freedom, you always come up with an idea to do something interesting, and then if you can turn it around into a capitalistic idea that you provide value and people pay you money, hey, more power to you, right?
Absolutely,
And that could
absolutely.
be a lemonade stand and so on and so forth. It just makes sense from that perspective. So your family, so your wife is from South Africa, you said.
That's correct, yes,
So
sir.
tell me a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
Oh, not at all. You know, my wife, you know, she comes from a small town called Zanin, and it's I actually had the opportunity to be there, and so I had a chance to see, like, firsthand where she was born, where she was the bed actually that she was born in, and so that was pretty exciting, very different from what I come up, you know, in terms of my upbringing and my understanding. I had never traveled abroad. And so my first time going to South Africa was like, wow, it was an eye-opener at all of the opportunities and just the hustle and bustle. I didn't realize it was a major city and like all of these things. So that was like, wow, this is amazing. You know, and my wife learning her story, how she came to America and, you know, the struggle that she had before she came here. You know, South Africa, they had apartheid and things. And so she grew up during that time. And so we share stories about, you know, my childhood and then her childhood. And I'm always like, wow, you know, the things that she went through makes me feel like I'm really insignificant, you know. So I'm very
We are blessed.
yes, very blessed in the context that we have no idea what other people go through. And as you said, as far as people having kind of a inborn entrepreneurial gene, if you will, I think anytime we take the opportunity to explore our passions, if we dwell in that area long enough, those passions do become entrepreneurial ventures.
Absolutely.
So
I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I was born in India, and my family, we were 5 children.
Okay.
My father worked in the Air Force, and my mother was the main person working at home,
Gotcha.
bringing us up. One big room, one kitchen, outdoor
wow.
plumbing.
Yeah.
And you know, people say, Vinesh, do you like to go camping? I said, I did that for 25 years.
Wow. Yeah.
But the reason I'm saying that is a lot of people who are here, at least born in U.S.,
Sure.
don't understand the value of being a citizen here.
Right.
And being a citizen here, I'm very blessed. I've been a citizen for about 20 plus years now. And I'm very grateful that I get to be, and privileged, I
Sure.
should say,
Yeah.
that most people on the planet want to come here.
Absolutely.
Because we have something which is freedom and opportunity that most places don't have.
You know, that is such a huge, significant statement there because I really began to understand that when I went to South Africa and when I came back. I remember sitting at my sister-in-law's place underneath this peach tree every day for months, and just writing out ideas on businesses that I could see, like, man, they could have a pizza place here, or man, a chicken place, like all of these things that we have here that they have different or don't have. And so I thought about that. But then when I got back here to the United States, one of the other things I was doing while I was there was trying to strategize how I was going to improve my construction company and those types of things. So when I got back here to the United States, I realized why the illusion of how, we see foreigners and we say, oh, they're only successful because of this. And what the real understanding that I came to understand, if you will, was that when you come from a place without a lot of opportunities, or that you're fighting for every opportunity on the table, to be in a place where opportunity is a plethora everywhere.
Abundance,
it makes sense why you see so many people from different countries here succeeding in ways because they value the opportunity as opposed to treating the opportunity as it's not that significant. It'll come tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a bad attitude to have. That's a bad attitude to have.
Yeah.
So I know you were talking passionately about one of your projects. So I want to make sure we bring that up in this conversation.
Okay.
So tell me about your passionate project that you're working on right now.
Okay. Well, what I'm working on right now is called the All Sports Headgear, and that's ALLSPORTSHEADGEAR, All Sports Headgear. And what that is a multifunctional, or what I like to call now, versatile. It's basically a multifunctional towel that you can use to, do whatever you want to do. Basically whatever your daily activities are, whether you're going to work. Like I have one on now, and I'm using mine more for, this is a fashion design made from leather. I have them from terry cloth and silk and other materials as well for different applications. But what I really enjoy about the product is for ladies who have long hair, who frequent the beauty shops or spas. If drying your hair has ever been a problem for you, or getting your clothes all soaking wet has ever been a problem for you, the All Sports Headgear is the solution for you.
Wow.
And that's what I'm hearing from many different women, both with natural hair and also with, hair that has been, let's just say hooked up in different ways, because there's lots of different styles. But but I'm very excited about that because, as I said, I'm passionate about entrepreneurship, and my real true passion is creating solutions to problems.
Which is an entrepreneur.
And that's an entrepreneur at heart. And so that is what I've been able to do. This is the most recent product that I've been able to create, and I'm very excited about the opportunity to share it with you as well as with your audience. So thank you.
Yeah. And again, I'm not a big fan of politics, so I'll tell you one, politicians create problems where they don't exist.
Yeah, exactly. That gives it meaningful, makes it meaningful.
And entrepreneurs solve problems, right?
Right. Yeah, we find problems to solve. That's the very different approach.
And they create problems, is my opinion. But anyway, that's besides. So let me ask you a question about that. So how did you actually come up with this idea?
Well, believe it or not, I was at home with a friend, and we were, he's actually a pro boxer. I call him JoJo Boxer because, that's what he was, a UFC fighter as well as your traditional American boxer. And he, for a part-time or pastime, he likes to knit. And I thought that was the strangest thing.
Yes.
Well, what I come to find out that he also does clothing design. He makes the boxing shorts and the boxing robes for many of the boxers. And so he started a brand, Slick Fight Gear. And so we were standing around chit-chatting and watching YouTube. We were watching, I think, the highlights from a game. And I happened to look over and I saw Steph Curry sitting on the sideline, and he had a towel over his head.
Yes.
And at that moment, I don't know, it just
spark.
It made sense. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. Everybody's using towels, and they're using them in all different kinds of ways. And, it can be a challenge sometimes to keep the towel on if based upon its shape and things. And so I just grabbed an old towel out of my linen closet and a Sharpie and basically drew out a design. And my real good friend, JoJo, cut it out, and he said, man, do you got a sewing machine? And I grabbed the old sewing machine that I had from my mom, and he literally, at that moment, on that day, in that hour, sat there, sewed it together, and we tried it on, and that was within probably a half an hour. We went from no idea to having a prototype to literally seeing the vision of a product that everybody can benefit from.
Amazing. What a story. I love listening to that. To me, that is exciting, Robert, because that's what people need to realize, that there is always a solution, and there is somebody who has figured out a better way to do. And if you haven't, somebody's figuring it out right now as you speak, a better way to do things, which will make your life a lot easier. And when you bring that to the marketplace, somebody's life is easier, better in whatever capacity we can. And I think that's definitely phenomenal from my perspective. So who are you trying to reach out to?
Well, right now I'm really focused on building relationships with major retailers across the country. I'm working with an organization right now who has all of those contacts, and so we're just kind of like in the negotiating process, if you will. So I'm really excited about the opportunity to bring it to the major national retailers, as well as in Canada and the UK. So I'm super duper excited about that. And so the people that I'm trying to reach really is people like yourself, people like my wife, people like my mother, people like my grandmother. Probably the most difficult thing has been for me is the demographics. Like everybody that has had an opportunity to try the product and use the product and they get it, they really, really get it.
Wow.
And so now it's become, where I've had a couple of customers who've come back 2 and 3 times to repurchase. And that was a really good feeling because that kind of lets me know that, okay, so the product is something that it's not just a need, that people actually like it and they return and come get another one. So,
well, that's fantastic. Yeah. So how can people actually find out about your company?
Well, the name of my company is Accu Distributing. And Accu Distributing I would just say our DBA company would be All Sports Athletic Apparel.
Sure.
And so if you would like to learn more about the All Sports Headgear, you can go to allsportsheadgear.com, or you can go to allsportsathleticapparel.com. Both of those websites will take you to the same place. And there's all kinds of pictures showing customers that have used it and how they're using it and, videos and et cetera. So.
Great. And what would be success for you next, Robert?
Well, I have a very big book of problems that I've identified along the way. So I'm anticipating, I actually have 10 different versions right now of this product, serving all different industries from your beach, to the sports and spa, et cetera. And so the next thing I want to come with is more accessory items in the apparel, sports apparel industry. So look for more all sports athletic apparel items coming soon, very soon.
Very fantastic. I'm so glad to hear that. Now, going back to your family, how many children do you have, you said?
Woo, I have 5.
You have 5?
Yes, I have 5. And sometimes I say 6 if my wife hears me. I'm just kidding. But
it's the other way around for me. My wife has 3 and I have 2 because I'm the third one.
See, you get it then. Yeah. It's been a journey. I have my oldest just started college this year.
Congratulations.
And thank you very much. And she's planning to be an OBGYN. So that's been really exciting. And I have my other children are doing phenomenal in school. So it looks like everybody is kind of following the same, path. And so as a father, I'm a very proud father. Anybody who knows me will probably tell you that they call me super dad here and there because I still try to put my kids on my shoulders, and most of them are big as me now. But I love my family, and to me, that's the number one thing. So everything that I'm doing now is really to try and create a situation that will allow my family to be together all the time. My wife, she works out of town during the week, and so that's what my real, energy behind this is like. Let's bring mom home. So.
Well, good for you. I'm glad to hear that. I love being a parent, and I've been in business for 20 years, and I've been lucky enough to go to Disney World more than 200 times.
Wow. And
so on and so forth. And the reason I mentioned that is, to me, being with family is very critical.
Absolutely.
And I want to make sure that I'm spending the time with my family and enjoying the time with them, because those memories will not be back anytime soon.
You got it.
And we are leaving for Agra, Taj Mahal and stuff next week.
Awesome.
So that should be fun for them to see. Yeah. Because I really appreciate what you're doing, there, because being a parent is, I think, the best gift God could have given us.
Absolutely.
And I enjoy the gift every day. So congratulations to you for being a parent as well.
Thank
you.
So
once again, Robert, thanks for coming. I really appreciate it. I hope you got allsportsheadgear.com, and you can go check that out and obviously get in touch with Robert. And we look forward to obviously sharing more stories. So if you're somebody who is hungry to get your message out, you are humble, and you have a helpful attitude, I would love to interview you as well. Thanks.
Thank you very much.